So what happened in when there was no mobile, people have different kind of stuff like your calendar is there, pen is there, notebooks are there. Everything is now within mobile. So utility is a one of the essential part. Now, when I say public utility, so what are the business areas actually utility impacting, like electricity, gas, water, multimedia? Then we have waste management, wastewater management, telecom, district heating, all these are comes under the utility business. And when I say utility business, it is divided into four segments. But what are those four segments? The first segment of each utility generation units. So you can see there is a water production unit or electricity generation unit or natural gas generation unit. So one is definitely your generation units, or you can say production. So once you do produce the electricity, you need to transmit that to the cities to sell that. So there is a transmission unit. So if you consider India as one of the example where is electricity generation is happening through NTPC, then it will transmit it to our cities through grids. So we have six grids in India, like North grid, East grid, South, Northeast grid, Central grid, West grid, like that. We have six grids. So those are the transmission companies. Now your generation unit, let's consider NTPC or hydropower unit OHPC, Odisha Hydropower Corporation Limited. They will sell that to the transmission company sell to the distribution company. So distribution companies are having directly interface to the retailers. Now these are the small company which who will buy the energy from the transmission company, sell to the retailers, and retailers sell to the consumers. So who are the consumers? Domestic consumers or commercial consumers? Commercial consumers like industries or shops, they are commercial consumers. Domestic consumers like our home or any hospital or like schools. Okay, so which are used for our people to survive. So there are different type of consumers, commercial consumers and domestic consumers. So those consumers are getting the services from the retailers. Similarly, if you think about water, the water production happen mostly near to the river. So near the riverfront, they will get the water from the river or river bed, and they put those water into storage. Okay, they check the pH group of the water. They check whether all the minerals are there or not. If the minerals are less or more, we have to manage that, and we have to balance out the water. And once that is done, so we'll pass those water to the retailers through the water tanker or through the pipes. So if there are pipeline, everything is there, it will come to the retailer and retailer will sell to the consumer. Similarly, the waste management, wastewater, it will go through the pipe to the waste treatment plant and then it will flow to the sea or river. And your natural gas mostly available uh, in sea beds. So they generate the or they produce the natural gas, store into uh, storage units. It will come through, big ships, and we store them. And then once we store, we make it arrive to the consumers through the pipes. So what it mean? It mean the uh, value chain is distributed with multiple companies or organizations. So if I say electricity generation unit, there are many companies are there. When I'm saying transmission company, yeah, it is always controlled by the government, but the distribution company retailers are many. Okay, so like your Adani Power, Reliance Power, or Maharashtra Power, so uh, Tata Power, so they are all are distribution units and retailers. Generation units, many are there. So that means many organizations are involved in utility value chain. So there are production units, transmission unit, retail units, and finally the consumer is getting the values. Now, this is your utility segment. Okay. So, what is next? ERP. So, we understand what is utility. Now, let's understand what is ERP. ERP means, as it's mentioned here, enterprise resource planning. Now, when I say enterprise resource planning, that means there should be an enterprise. There should be some resources for those enterprise. We need to plan that resources in a way that that enterprise will get maximum benefit out of this plan. So that's we call the enterprise resource planning. Basically, it is integrating all the units or division of your organization through a common platform that is we call the ERP. It is a conceptual con comes during the after the First World War and before Second World War, and that's how the organization are grow like anything. So what happened after First World War? There was the Industrial Revolution happened, but before that, there is Industrial Revolution already happened before First World War. But near to the First World War, everything is thinking that how we can get maximum out of these industries. Okay, so they introduce some plan. So they create some books like general books, and they put everybody's detail. They put when they are coming, when they are leaving. So they started a resource management, human resource management. Okay. And slowly, those kind of concepts are popular with other companies. So they manage all their departments through a common platform. And for there, they create some rules, regulation, and best practices. And that was we call enterprise resource planning. So, as I mentioned, to do that, we have a enterprise. Now, enterprise is anything, a business or a profit organization or a non-profit organization or any government agencies or any NGOs, even if a college, which enterprise. Resources. Now, to run that business, to run that organization, we always need resources. Okay. So, like, let's consider here in this case, we give one example, which is a tea stall. It's a very small business. Still, we can apply enterprise resource planning thoughts to that tea stall. Okay. The the final word, which it's come planning, which is very critical, and that planning is ensure the resources to the enterprise that that enterprise will execute properly. It should run very well, right? So that's how this planning is very critical. Let's take the example of tea stall. To make a tea, what exactly you require? You require basic capital investments like need a gas stove, you need some container, some utensils. Okay, so that is your capital investment. Source of energy means you need some gas stove or kerosene stove, anything you can use, or electric stove. So that is your capital investment. Then you need a place, location. Okay, you identify the location, you started your business. Then manpower. Okay, let's you have only you or one more person, two persons you decided to start the tea shop. Now, in the tea stall, what exactly you are looking, which is to run your business, you need water, you need milk, you need sugar, you need tea leaves, which are your production resources, and obviously you need some cups to share. Then, what exactly you are doing? You are producing by using your uh, container or utensil, and you are selling to the consumer. Let's consider there is a weather forecasting that there is a heavy cyclone in Bhubaneswar and your tea stall is in Bhubaneswar. So is your business is happening, what is happening normally, or there is a chances there will not be any business? So the answer is no, there will not be any business because people will not come out from their house, they will not go to the tea stall to buy tea, and it may be a difficult task for you. So what you will do, you will Ask to your resource provider that don't give me milk, don't give me sugar, or you will not buy uh, more water or water bottles, whatever you are using for your tea, you will not buy, or the tea cups. In the contrary, let's consider the weather is bit cold, but not so cold. It's sunny time. People are very happy to walk and do the jogging, and they are looking to get some tea. Okay, so in that case, what is happening? People are coming to you and buying more tea in those weathers. So you need to increase your milk. Okay, so the person who is providing the milk, you have to ask them, okay, give me 2 more liters today or 3 more liters today. Through that, you are increasing your production and your sale going to increase. Now you are holding all the information into a book and you understand when to increase the resources, when to decrease the resources. Okay, let's very simple way. On a certain day, it happened that your your opening time of your tea stall is morning 5 to 10:30. Okay. So on a certain day, what happened? Because of good weather, people come and buy all your tea by 7:30. So when you see your resources are almost half or reducing very fast, you ask to a person, okay, go and get more milk, more sugar, more tea leaves. So that means you are increasing your resources. Okay, and through that, your production is continuing. Exactly, that same thing is happening in big industries. The same thing is happening in service industries as well. So what exactly they are doing? So let's consider steel industry. So what you require in a steel industry? You require uh, obviously raw materials. Okay, you require water. You require huge amount of coke. You require uh, human like manpower. Okay, and obviously the capital investment would be there. There will be smelter. In smelter, the raw materials will be fall, and by coke it will be liquefied, and from there you will get the iron ore. And once it is liquefied, obviously the iron ores are heavy, they will flow, and you will put water and make it iron. So now when you find that the raw materials are getting reduced, so you have to call to the vendor to give you more raw materials. The trucks will come and give you more raw materials because what you want. You want that the smelter should not be stopped. If it will stop, it is very difficult to restart again because you need to put lot much energy and lot much coke. Okay. Now all this thing is controlled by a centralized system, which is your ERP. So the same simple business concept can be used in big business. Now in the big business, what happening? You need more raw materials, you need more human resource, you need more bigger plants, you need more uh, what do you call bigger investment at your capital. So that's how it is coming. So ERP can be used from the small business to big business. So what is the benefit of ERP by using ERP? So the bigger benefit of ERP is all functions across the company will be integrated. Everybody knows what to do, what not to do. Okay. And you will create a integration between customer and supplier. So I didn't explain about the front end one, which is your CRM part. These days, everybody is shopping online. So that is your front end. So that is customer directly integrating with the supplier. So those options are available. Integrated database from which you will get all the reports. So from the reports, we can understand what are the demand in market, and we follow the best practices for our efficiency. Now, what is career perspective in ERP? So throughout this period, the ERP produced lot many jobs. So like solution architect or Solution architect, there is another concept called enterprise architect, then developers, consultant again of two types, functional and technical consultant, end user who manage all these ERP, portal developers, data engineers, basis administrators, and DBA. Many persons are involved in a ERP job, and their salary is quite good. They grow very fast, and their growth is quite good. So average salary is around 6 lakhs in India for a starter. So what are the products from ERP? So if you see, currently the very popular products are Oracle apps, SAP, Salesforce, um, JD Edwin, then you have Microsoft Dynamics, okay, then BD Check, then you have the Snow, ServiceNow. Okay, so there are many ERP solutions in the market, but the biggest uh, product for ERP is SAP. So what is exactly SAP? Now, SAP is the name of a ERP software product by a company called SAP AG. So SAP is an integrated system which holds many modules for your share information and automatically create the transactions. Okay, to integrate between different departments. So basically, as business is very complex, for these complex businesses, we are creating a product, and that product name is SAP, and that SAP is integrating all the departments to some transaction. So it is one of the largest uh, enterprise software like ERP product company, third largest software provider. So is the first Microsoft, and second is Google, and third is your SAP. Now it has presence across the globe. Every country it has presence. It is mostly uh, discussed with the process industry, discrete industry, consumer industry, service industry, financial services, public services. It is in everywhere. Okay. So if you see what are the industry solutions it provides the solution towards the mining, agriculture, oil and gas, chemical, pharmaceutical, building like infrastructure, heavy construction, industrial, commercial machinery. So everywhere ERP is there. Almost 28 type of business solutions is provided, including your education, research, even museum and association, government public administrators. So all these 28 areas are there. So basically, SAP technology progress with time. It started with a very basic single architecture. R1 means a single tier architecture where there is a one box like your desktop. Inside that they put the software and try to execute everything from the same box. Slowly, there is a client server concept come into picture. So the integrated client and server. So there are two systems. One would be the centralized client and other will be server. Then slowly they enhance. They make it R3 architecture. So one data center will be there that will link to a server, and from the server they will link to the client. And after that, the ERP enhanced. It make a ECC system. Uh, ECC is ERP central component. Through ECC, they link to the web application. So what will happen? There is a common center, component center, enterprise center for component, and from there it will access from anywhere from the globe. So with three-tier architecture, they integrated different modules. So as I mentioned already, the SAP holds different type of modules for different business areas. And with this architecture, it has become more popular with ECC 6.0. Okay, so it is the story till 2013. So SAP network come into picture. So basically, if you see the integrated SAP structure, you can see there are many modules. This is one of the module. for finance perspective, and you can see there are many things are integrated to this. FI finance, controlling, treasury, enterprise, investment management, project system, workflow systems, everything is there. And the centralized component is controlled through a program we call the ABAP program or Java program. ABAP is known as Advanced Business Application Program, and with time it also supports Java. Nowadays, SAP integrate itself, trying to integrate itself with Python. Okay. So what I'm trying to explain, SAP is a very complex system with many modules to address the solution of your complex business. And through that, they develop the solution for the industry. So one of the complex industry in current world is your utility industry. Now, this utility industry is coming from one of the solution called SAP Industrial Solution. Now, SAP Industrial Solution having different solution. One of the popular solution is your SAP T telecom solution. All these telecom companies they use SAP ISU, IST, or you if you are going to shop somewhere in a big mall, they are using SAP Retail, SAP IS Retail. So all these are industrial specific solutions. So one of them is called the SAP ISU. U stands for utilities. So SAP ISU. Now ISU, when I am saying ISU again integrate itself with other models to provide you the best solution. So you have ERP and you find SAP IS solution, ISU. But to create a relationship with the consumer, we manage the master data management, customer relationship management. We also use the business intelligence, business objects to see the data of the consumer. We create the supply chain to continuously provide the services, and we also use the logistic uh, to uninterrupted supply and maintenance of the consumer. Apart from that, we also use front ends and HR to manage our business. So all these things combinedly provide a complete solution for ISU. Now, when I say ISU basically relate investor specific solution for utilities, and it is dealing with whatever the utilities we have, public utilities. Okay. And they have their own models inside ISU. So we have different service areas like sorry, electricity, gas, and cable television, multimedia. All these different areas are there. In all these areas, we have very common modules like device management, work management, customer services. Okay, measurement consumption, billing and invoicing, collection, and customer services. So all these models are introduced with the existing SAP. So what exactly happening? SAP is started long back in 1971, but the SAP ISU introduced around 90s. So they use the common models which are useful, and they completed that solution by 2005. And that solution is introduced into the utility market. So basically, what exactly happening? There are some models which are already there. We call them core models, R3 models, and on top of that, we introduce the ISU model. So you can see device management, consumption entry, billing, invoicing. These are ISU models, which is on top of the core R3 models. So core models like material management, asset management, sales distribution, uh, plant maintenance, service management, finance, or all these are your core models. And on top of that, we have our ISU models, and everything is integrated through a common business uh, partner. Business partner means consumer. Okay, so that's how these models are developed. Now, what is the plan of SAP because everything is now on mobile, on internet, or tabs. The SAP also introduced a new stuff that is called SAP S4HANA. And with SAP S4HANA, they introduces the Fury. Fury application is mostly allow you to integrate the SAP into the mobiles. And with from the desktop, they enhance themselves to desktop, laptop, laptop, and you can do now everything in your laptop. So they introduced that in 2013. In 2016, they introduced 2.0, and 2019 onwards, it is fully introduced into the market. So what is the SAP's future target or history? You can see. So by 2020, you can see they introduce everything into cloud. They have a target that SAP, as I mentioned, they are using three-tier architecture. So the database is separate previously, and anybody can use any kind of database to run the SAP application. But with time, SAP develops its own data space, which is called S4HANA, which is very faster. So they are pushing people that you should go to use our S4HANA, and they increase their processing with introduction of S4 HANA concept. They call them four core concept. And these four core concept introduced in 2015. With time, by 2016, 17, and 18, they develop all the solution on cloud. Now, cloud means the server is somewhere in with SAP's data center. You need to put your application in that and use the application, and they will provide all the security updates on that cloud. So now they are pushing to enhance everybody to go to the cloud. So they are introducing new updates, new solutions to go to cloud. So what is their objective? Their objective is by 2027. So here I explained they introduced in 2014. Slowly, they are moving with S4 HANA. And by April or May to 2020, they are they are almost completed all the S4 HANA core modules. They are not yet touched the utility modules, but they completed the core module. So what is their objective? Their objective is very clear. They have a roadmap that will support current SAP, which is under ECC till 2027. By 2027, everybody should migrate from ECC to S4HANA. If they will not migrate, they will stop the support. Okay. If they will stop the support, and somebody is with the genuine reasons not able to move to S4 HANA, so they'll enhance the support till 2040. But for that, they have to pay extra money. Okay. So they have very clarity that by 2027, everybody should go to cloud. Otherwise, they'll not provide the services. And if they'll provide the services, they will charge for that. But after 2040, they will hard stop everything and everybody should go into S4HANA. So till 2040, they have plans. So SAP has plans till 2040. But what about the energy market? What about the other people? What are the new plans? So the energy market has its own plan. So they are doing global summit, and in global summit, they are discussing about clean energy. Now, what is clean energy? So when I'm saying the clean energy, mostly it is a renewable energy. Your hydropower, solar power, wind energy, or your geothermal energy, ocean energy, hydrogen energy, and biomass all mostly comes under renewable energy. But after renewable energy, there is a concept of clean energy. What is clean energy? So, like biomass is not a clean energy. Hydropower is a renewable energy, but it is impacting on our global temperature because whenever you create dam and holding water, the water also hold temperature. So Yeah, that is also not so clean. Biomass is also not clean because it creates a lot of carbon dioxide, but biomass produce fertile fertilizers, so that's how it make your land fertile. So that is usable, and we consider them as sometimes as green energy. But mostly clean energy are your wind energy, solar energy, ocean energy, geothermal energy. And if we are able to divide the water into hydrogen and oxygen, so hydrogen energy also comes under green energy because it is not creating any carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. So now, once we divide this, so the concept of net zero come into picture. So what is the net zero concept? So net zero refers to a balance between the amount of greenhouse gas generation that's produced and amount that removed from the atmosphere. It can be achieved through a combination of emission reduction and emission removal. So emission reduction means you are reducing the carbon gas house emission, and emission removal means you are stopping them by replacing them with the clean energy or renewable energy. So that is the target, or that is the option we call net zero option. So there is a conference in Paris in 2015. Okay, and that is the first conference. We call that COP 21. All these global countries, okay, almost all countries uh, are there, and all these countries who are there, they are come to a common agenda. So they want to do net zero emission by 2050. And that same thing is reiterated in UN Climate Action Summit in 2019 and in COP 26 Glasgow Climate Pact in 2021, and most recently in 2027 Sharm el Sheikh Climate Summit in 2022. So by 2022, almost all the nations decided that they'll go to net zero by 2050. Okay. So that means we have to reduce the greenhouse gas, we have to use the renewable energy, and we have to go to a new type of billing. So people will mostly use the new type of housing, billing, everything because of this agreement or this approach uh, through all these international bodies. So this is one of the house which is near to a sea. They are using many stuff. They are using, you can see water, wind energy for energy creation. On the rooftop, they have solar energy panels. Biogas tanks are there. They have a water harvesting area. Okay. And they also use the wave energy. So they are using most of these renewable energy. So when we use most of the renewable energy, we call that carbon neutral building. So people are moving towards that. And what it means? It means with a single agreement, or with a single agreement by the all the countries, it is impacting your infrastructure, your building, okay, your future uh, billing as well. How? So in going future, okay, what will happen? They'll check from which sources you are getting the energy. If it is coal source, what is the carbon generation from the coal source? So the consumption is 500 kilowatt, okay? And how much invoice you have to pay? How much amount you have to pay for that 500 kilowatt? Now, what is happening? Per unit charges, let it be some €2, 500 kilowatt into €2 equals to that much. Now that concept may change. That concept will change. It will come with how much carbon generation is happening. So let it be you are getting some energy from coal. So that is 50%. Currently, India's 50% energy are from coal. Why? Because we are using coal as the main source of energy generation, like NTPC is using. So 50% means you are emitted 350 kg of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Gas means like your petroleum gas. Those are also fossil fuels. Fossil fuel also create the carbon dioxide. So you contribute 150 kg into that renewable energy. You have some solar panels or something. So 20% of that you are getting from your solar panel or renewable energy. So zero carbon dioxide. Now total you add on them and you will find 500 kg CO2. Now 500 kg CO2 need to be upset with green energy. So let's consider you have a good amount of green energy and 50 kilowatt you injected into the network, into the transmission network. For that, you will get a reduction of 50 kg carbon dioxide. A reforest bond. So now you have to buy some bonds to reduce your carbon offset. So you have to buy a bond of 200 kg CO2. So bond means wherever the jungle is now almost not there. So people are trying to produce the reforestation is happening there. And for that, there is some investment required. Now you invested into that. You can show that. So 200 kg is upset happening because of that. General general renewable energy bonds, green energy bonds. You brought some green energy bonds of 200 kg. Okay, so that's how you got 450 kg CO2 offset. So 500 kg minus 450 kg. 50 kg CO2 is there. That you have to pay 100 euro per kg. So 5,000 euro. That means instead of how much energy you are using, that is not important. How much impacting to the atmosphere, to the environment, that is impacting. So the bills will be carbon neutral billing. Okay, so that would be future. Now, with this kind of advanced stuff, with the billing, the calculation is very complex. So for complex calculations, we need complex type of products. SAP is moving towards that. SAP introducing SAP Leonardo Bridge. Through that, you can adding all these SAP edge computing like streaming, persisting business transactions. You need to add all the data management because how much you are injecting into the transmission network, how much carbon emission is happening, all things need to be captured. And obviously, to do get all the information, we need big kind of IoT devices, and from IoT, it will come into the data center. So we need big data concept. Now to analyze those data, we need data intelligence and analytics power. Human beings cannot do this complex stuff. So we need machine learnings. Okay. And apart from that, the data security and data storage is a big concern. So that will happen into cloud. And this everything is the future for SAP. So what is other steps where other futuristic steps will happen? So as I mentioned in the beginning, the whole value chain is divided into generation, transmission, distribution, and operations or consumer. Now all these things need to be maintained properly, quickly, faster, and everything will be maintained with people these days, whether it's customer relationship, whether it's maintenance, whether it's reconstruction, forecasting, portfolio management, or wholesale procurement. Now, these things may change. Slowly it is getting changed, particularly in customer center. These days, there are IVRs. If you call, they have options. So human beings are not picking that. The uh, IVR machines, automating voice generator machines, they'll pick, they understand your concern and answer you back. Okay, so those things are already happening there. But in future, it may happen that instead of some human beings putting the transmission lines, there will be a robot. So introduction of the robot for the service areas is mostly expected. Like in Japan, if you go into internet or YouTube, you find most of the Japanese hotels are managed by robots. Why? Because uh, in Japan, most of the citizens in Japan are uh, aged more than 60 years. Okay, so their workforce is reduced. So only 10% of their population are into workforce. And that's how they need robots. So robots are taking care of their citizens. And the same thing can be come into the utilities. So robots will maintain all these utility complex stuffs. Okay, thanks for your time.